welcome to another exciting chapter in cosplay prop making. Today with myself as your hostess, Cupcake Crystal. Meow! Bobby. Nice to have a little fun today with my cat ears for everybody. Cause what can you say? Cosplay's fun, so you gotta have fun as you're making your cosplay. So last time I showed you that we are making an SAO sword. And I'm going to first start off this episode by tracing out a second on my poster board of the sword. So I'm going to try to turn the camera so you guys can see as I trace it. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. I do like to set like something heavy down on that paper cutout of the sword on the board. Move it further down as I'm working just because make sure the paper cutout doesn't move away from me. I am using an ink pen today in hopes that it'll show up a little better for all you viewers to see, but hopefully you can tell I'm just tracing alongside my paper template of my sword as I'm going here. That's why I move the weight down as I get further into the trace. You can go real slow with this part if you want to, as you don't want to make sure that it does trace out accurately. So I'm just trying to do this somewhat quick so I don't bore y'all. If I can figure out how to speed up the video, I will most certainly do that element to this section. But like I said, I am not a video editor in any regards. So here, moving on to the lower section. And it doesn't matter if you get, obviously, pencil or pen marks on the paper as you're tracing alongside it. So all you need the paper for is the form. You do want to be careful as you go around the fine details. You do want those to be nice, precise. I'm not probably always the best at that myself, but we always gotta try our best, don't we? Sorry if the candle weight is in the way of the viewing, plus my own hands probably are now that I think about it. What you do, like I said, want to be precise with the trace, because from this is where you will cut out, of course, your final form. Get around here out of the way. I should have left a little more space for myself to work here. I just thought I'd show you real quick what this can look like doing the tracing part. But hopefully you can see that to a degree. I'll lift it up even so you get a better, obviously, view. That's where we just worked together on tracing the second form of the sword onto the foam board. And now, first, we can begin somewhat of the fun part. We can get our handy dandy crafter's knives, and of course, always be careful until working with any kind of sharp object. I like to use these utility type of crafting knives. They can contract up and down, and gives you some flexibility. You have like the little notches where you can break off a blade, start with a new one. It is always best to work with a sharp blade because it does give you the most precise cut, and it does make it safer actually, because if you have a dull blade it is harder for it to cut through the foam board. I'll admit I have been quite guilty of using dull blades, and I am not even sure how good a condition the one that's currently on here is, because I don't remember when I last used it or changed it. So we're gonna hope this works out here right now. But as you see, we have our swords nice and laid out, so we will tilt the camera down and begin the cutting process. Like I said, safety first. I do put down a piece of cardboard on the floor. I don't want to wreck any flooring. We're working on this. I also tend to like to bring out a ruler, so on the straight parts I can lay it down on the board and basically cut alongside it. It helps to make sure I get a nice straight even cut on the nice straight even sections. So let us begin. I know you probably won't be able to see much, but we're gonna do this anyway. And you're just gonna do like a very light surface cut to begin with. Yeah, I can tell my blade is not in very good condition, considering it just decided to take a piece of foam right out. So I will most likely have to change this one. Like I said, just start with a light surface cut to initially get into the foam board, and then you can do a few passes to where you can get all the way cut through. And you'll know when you're all the way cut through, you'll feel it. You can even test it, of course, wiggling the board. Lets you know if you got all the way cut through. Again, start with a very first small incision into the surface, and take that blade deeper into the board. Hold your ruler very firmly, fingers at a distance. Gives a nice solid, stable grip. You don't want your ruler moving around on you while you're doing this kind of a cut. That will definitely upset things. And as you can see, I can wiggle it and see that it is starting to come apart. That's what we want. Of course, the small sections, the little itty bitty teeny parts, those are going to be the fun parts of cutting. I'm sure there's probably much more advanced tools out there. I tend to craft and cosplay on somewhat budgeted, cheap side. People want to invest in more, of course, higher quality items. Feel free to do so. And then with the small details, you do take it nice and slow, kind of bounce that blade up and down. And like I said, that's going to be the tougher part right here. And you can always actually cut out the bigger forms first, and then work on cutting out the smaller sections later on. once you get most of the blade out. And I would pop this blade off right now and go to the next newest one, but it does not want to seem to pop off for me right now. So I am going to continue cutting up my form. Not going to bore you with the whole lengthy process, because I think you kind of have an idea of what we're supposed to be doing here. So I will pause the video for now, because unfortunately I do not know how to do the whole speed up process that a lot of people can do with their videos. So we'll put you on pause, come back once I have it all finished cut out. Alright everybody, I am back. I have officially completed cutting out both pieces of my form board in the shape of the sword I want. So here's the first piece, complete sword hilt handle. Here's the second piece, blade, the hilt, the handle, and basically what I do next is we will be stacking the two pieces on top of each other, like so. I will be gluing these parts right along the seam there. Like I said, I'm using a trifold poster board, so that will be glued so the floppiness does not continue. But next videos will be of adhering the two sides together to make it a bit of a thicker, solider sword. Usually what I do is I try to put some kind of strengthening material into the core of the blade, so it has a little bit more durability than foam board has to offer. Usually I've used somewhat long stretches of craft wood in the past. This time I am going to try something new. I'm going to try using craft sticks. I just got these at a local Hobby Lobby store. So I'm going to try and hollow out the center and place the wood sticks there with craft glue. So next videos will be showing that process. I'll probably start doing the hollowing out of somewhat of the core ahead of time, because that is a very long and lengthy process in and of itself, so that would get to be a very boring video. But so far I hope you are liking your results, enjoying having a foam sword you can poke somebody with, just irritate your sibling. So like I said, right now it's not going to be too much of a deterrent against anybody. And I just find that actually kind of funny right now. It's the first time I've used the trifold board, so it's kind of funny to see it flop around like that for me. So once again, thank you everybody for tuning in. Please feel free to leave comments, questions, whatever you are interested in leaving down below. If you have suggestions on other techniques or like to share what you do, that would also be nice to have up here in the comment section. It's nice for all cosplayers, anime fans, whatever genre you're into, to share your abilities, share your techniques. It helps everybody and then makes everything more fun in life. So until next time, arigato, have a great evening, bye bye.